when you've done all you can, and it seems like it's never enough. And what do you say when your friends turn away and you're all alone, all alone? Tell me, what do you give when you're giving your all and seems like you can't make it through? Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand, watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Tell me, how do you handle the guilt of your past? Tell me, how do you deal with the shame? And how can you smile while your heart has been broken and filled with pain, filled with pain? Tell me, what do you give when you've given your all? Yeah. Seems like you can't make it through. Child, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand, watch the Lord see you through. Yes, after you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure, you're not entangled in that bondage again. You just stand and be sure God has a purpose. Yes, God has a plan. Tell me, when you've done all you can, and it seems like you can't make it through, child, you just stand. You just stand. Stand. Till you stand through the storms, stand through the rain, through the hurt, yeah, through the pain. Don't you bow and don't you bend. Don't give up. No, don't give in. Hold on. Hey, just be strong. God will stand in. It won't be long, no. After you've done all you can. After you've done all you can. After you've gone through the hurt. After you've gone through the pain, oh my. After you've gone through the storms.
Bringing life through music, joy, and inspiration. That's the WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrooks and Mr. Dumas.
And good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. Also Joining us later would be President Gwendolyn Westbrooks. Hope you're having a great day today. Nice weather out there today. Not too hot, but not too cool as well. But we're going to take it when we get it. And so we're enjoying the weather the way it is right now with a little touch of fall this morning. And we kind of like that. I hope you had a great weekend. This past week, of course, the NAACP in Houston County hosted the gubernatorial candidates in a forum of a meet and greet. And so those of you who attended at the First Baptist Church there in Warner Robins, we had an opportunity to meet the candidates and kind of let them share their platform and some of the things that they tend to run on their ticket. Some of the ones that were in attendance was Ula Brown, he's a Democrat. Jason Estevez, he's a Democrat. Derek Jackson, who's a Democrat. Michael Thurman, who's a Democrat. They had Chris Carr, who was not present, but came by way of video, as well as Burke Jones, who's running as a Republican as well, who was not in attendance. Keisha Lansbottom, who's running as a Democratic, she was not in attendance as well, but had a lot of her staff there, as well as a video presentation. Some of the ones that were present was Derek Jackson, Jason Estevez, Michael Thurman. These candidates, along with Mr. Ola Brown, they were all present, and so they were giving out signs for your, for those who wanted to put up signs in their neighborhoods to campaign for them. It was a very good night to get information about these gubernatorial candidates. Well, we know this is a major election that will be taking place in 2026 for the governor of the state of Georgia. And we know we have a lot of issues that have to be touched upon, and we want to know the position of these candidates on those particular issues. I see Desmond Brown has checked in. Thanks for tuning in, Desmond. Of course, we saw you there on Thursday for the meet and greet of the candidates, and we had good representation for the NAACP. We had our state president that was in attendance as well, and so we had a good showing. Some of those candidates came up with some very good ideas as far as tackling some of the issues that we're facing here in Georgia. Of course, we know that the Big Beautiful Bill was one of the things that came about in the discussion, and some of the effects of it and how it would affect Georgians here. And the candidates had a good take on explaining some of that information. We also learned that over 471,000 Georgians have actually will be taken off of the rolls. They actually will be purged from the rolls. And according to the information that was received, these individuals would receive letters indicating that this was a possibility of happening. They had so much time to respond. I don't know how many people have received those, and if that is actually what's taking place, but that was what was presented, that over 471,000 Georgians would be purged from the voting rolls here in Georgia. As it relates to registering to vote, of course, you have up until October 6th would be the deadline to register to vote in the midterm elections. And so if you haven't done so as a citizen of Georgia, if you haven't registered, you do need to register. And if you need information on how to register, of course, you can always contact NAACP. You can also call here at the radio station at 478-250-1444. Once again, that number is 478-250-1444. That's for information on, how to register to vote, because it's going to be crucial. A very short timeline, as I mentioned, October 6th was that timeline. I see Desmond Brown posted, it was an epic meet and greet. It certainly was. A lot of good information was shared. A lot of passion was displayed from the various candidates. And we had an opportunity to really learn a lot about the candidates. I understand Jason Estevez is an owner of the Flying Biscuit, which is a new restaurant here in Macon, and that he has other franchises across the state. But we just recently had the opportunity to have that franchise here in Macon, Georgia, and it seems that business is really doing great. One of the other candidates, of course, Michael Thurman, which shouldn't be a stranger to most of us here in Middle Georgia who have been around a while. He was a labor commissioner for a long time, and so we know of his work here in Georgia as well. And of course, you had Republican Chris Carr, who is no stranger also, and Keisha Lance Bottoms, who we know worked with the Biden administration and has also served as mayor in Atlanta. And so the list of candidates, a lot of familiar faces on the ballot, and what we would encourage all voters to do is to look up the candidates, research the candidates, and kind of see what they have to offer. A lot of the candidates gave their websites, where individuals could go to their websites and get more information in regards of what they stand for and what they actually tend to represent. Let's see here. Desmond said, I love the 6-point platform by candidate Olu Brown. Yes, it was quite interesting, Desmond, how that was laid out. And I do have to say, people who did not attend the meet and greet, they really missed the treat of really finding out more about the candidates, even though they will have opportunities later, because the NAACP Macon chapter, we look forward to hosting a meet and greet with question and answers sessions as well with the candidates, so that more people will get the opportunity to actually see and to hear those candidates' platforms and the things they have to offer here. I was reading an article here. It says Georgia will hold a competitive governor's race in 2026, one that will draw attention through one of the most headline-grabbing members of Congress decided against jumping in. Several prominent Democrats and Republicans have announced bids to replace term-limited Republican Governor Brian Kemp. Lieutenant Governor Burke Jones and Attorney General Chris Carr are the leading candidates vying for the Republican nomination. Firebrand GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene passed on running for U.S. Senate, and for governor, opting to run for election into the U.S. House. And so it's going to be a very contentious race here in Georgia, and we know that Donald Trump only won Georgia by a few points. And so ever since Georgia has had turned blue, it's been quite a struggle to turn it back to red. And so these Democrats are fired up and ready to go, as well as the Republican candidates that are vying for that position. Just another note, outside of the gubernatorial race, of course, the Senate race is going to be a very contentious race where you have Senator Alsop, who's being challenged also, and so that's going to be interesting to watch. We know the importance of those positions and the attention that came about from those positions in the past election with Senator Warnock and Senator Ossoff. So it's going to be important to show up and to vote in these upcoming elections, because it's a shame if our people don't vote. The window is closing very soon. As I mentioned, we only got up until October 6th to register new voters, and so they need to get out there and get registered, and not only register but vote.
Yeah,
but vote.
That's the most important thing. They just and I think they finalized it. They're purging about almost 480,000 people off the rolls of voter rolls who have not voted in the last two general elections. I think 2022 and 2024. If you didn't vote in those general elections, they're they're purging you off the list. And I think I read yesterday where they kind of like finalized that. They sent letters out. You had 40 days to respond to those. So
my question is, I'm wondering if everybody got notifications. That's the big question.
We'll never know that, but
Exactly.
Some people get them. Get them when they get mail, they don't look at it, and then it'd be 2-3 weeks before they realize they don't got mail. Some people don't even check their mailbox every day.
Absolutely.
It may be a week before they check the mailbox, but it's important that we do exercise our right to vote. We in a situation right now because people didn't get out and vote, and so we living in anyway. We are living in uncertain
times,
but even more so now, we living in uncertain times. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day.
Right. Some of the things that have even transpired this week, I see there was a executive order put in place as far as having National Guard troops sent to various cities. I don't know if Atlanta was on the list of cities that's potentially going to have troops come to assist with security, but
I know it says here the Georgia National Guard will deploy about 75 soldiers and airmen to help support U.S. immigration and custom enforcement. ICE operations across the state, Governor Kemp announced on Monday. And I'm trying to see when this article was.
So they're going to assist, even if it's not one of the cities that will be actually targeted as needing that assistance.
And it says that Kemp also emphasized that assigning the Georgia National Guard to work with federal, state, and local law enforcement agency is now new. The governor sent Guard troops to the Texas border with Mexico earlier last year, accusing the Biden administration of failing to secure the border. This is so crazy,
Right.
I'm not gonna say whether they should be over here or not, but this is not what's making sense to me. Now, these people been over here working. I see Desmond Brian. He says our round of applause to President Westbrooks, Jonathan,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Xavier Armstrong for the showing of the voters of Middle Georgia, a very informative meet and greet. I encourage all to join the NAACP. Yes.
Thank you for that plug.
Thank you, Water Authority Board member Desmond Brown in the house.
Absolutely.
And I'll go back to that in a few minutes. We'll just talk about that for a few minutes. The meet and greet, which was awesome. It was very informative, and it was just Xavier. She did. We call her Zan, but she did an awesome job in pulling everything together in such a short such a short
period of time.
Yeah. And so it was just awesome. The candidates came down. The candidates that could not come down, I think it was Carbert and
Lance Bottom.
Lance Bottom was not able to be there in person, but they sent a video presentation on their behalf, and I think some of them had. I think at least Keisha Lance Bottom had a table set up. So it was awesome.
Absolutely.
I was the moderator there at the event, and in my job was just kind of keep things moving along and make sure, people spoke in time. We didn't take the whole night to speak. And so,
Right.
uh, and my role was not that, it was not so much of just making sure that everything was ran smooth.
Absolutely.
The food, everything was just awesome. And they had we had a good turnout because I invited people. I know what about there's, and he's a member of the NAACP. He also invited people to the forum,
Right.
and so it was a
County
lot of people came
commissioners,
out, different
county commissioners.
different people from different, not just from Houston County. There were people from Macon, different people from different areas. I know people were calling. I was on the phone with the state, and people were calling there to try to find out whether or not it was going to be virtual, because some people did not, as far as traveling. So it was a huge turnout. I know that we are working on planning on doing something at the first of the year, and we've already kind of secured an area, a location. So we'll be working on something where we'll probably be having a Q&A in the upcoming few months. Just this year has just been so busy. But I thought that it was, some people thought it was too early to do that, but I'm saying they're running for office and they're campaigning. So it was, I thought it was a great idea to do a meet and greet since they've already started campaigning.
Exactly. And then, people, there are a lot of things people don't know about candidates that they can learn by coming to these meet and greets. And so it gives them a better opportunity to kind of see who they're voting for.
Yeah. So. And so most of everybody that spoke, the candidates that spoke, they kind of talked about housing and education. What I did not see, what I did not hear a lot about mental health.
Right.
And so that was one of the areas that I was hoping that that people, that the candidates would focus more on. And I think in sometimes when people are not in a situation where, in a position where they have to deal with that a lot, they maybe don't know a lot about it, but we know that they're in our jails.
Absolutely.
And when they should be somewhere in a house facility, we do know that we do not have an inpatient facility for mental health anymore. I don't know why. Just hearing people talk, I think it was a situation where I think doctors and different providers, met with our legislation. Was like, from listening to some of the officers talking, they were basically saying, if people take their medication, they could live a normal life, but that's not the case. A lot of it is not the case. People are not taking their medications.
Right.
And so that's why they end up in having in jail and having receiving a charge when they really don't need to be incarcerated. They need to be in the inpatient
care with the mental care, mental health provider.
And so, basically the jail is basically the facility where inmates are being housed for medical, for crimes, but they should be there for medical treatment. But that's where they're housed. That they're now in the jails instead of in an inpatient facility. And then when you send them out on Millerfield Road, they're at River Edge. They're there from anywhere from 7 to 14 days. So, that's just for temporary. Right. And then until we, the families got to take part. They got to get involved in making sure, these people they have an income.
Right.
And so, we don't know what's happening to the income. Then they are homeless and they're begging for money, and they have income, and and a lot of times they're not taking their medication. So it's just, it used to be a time that the Social Security office would follow up on stuff like that. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
Wow. And with, manpower shortages, a lot of programs like that get kind of cut.
Yeah, because they even, they used to, like a person that was receiving Social Security, especially SSI, you had to show proof that you had that those people had life insurance.
Wow.
And I can remember that used to be asked for when because they have to do like an evaluation of like some every year, and that had information have to be provided to them. I don't even know if they did so do that. You have people that are in those situations that don't even have health insurance, and it used to be a requirement that they had health insurance.
Wow.
I meant life insurance. I meant because no with SSI they have Medicaid, but I don't even know if they even doing that anymore.
Well, with the number of cases you sometimes hear about, where people pass away and they doing GoFundMe's, it shows that a lot of the,
Yeah, and
programs are probably not in place.
yeah, and it needs to be because these people that are in those situations, they need to have life insurance. And I see that a lot where families are without life insurance when they pay us, and then they have them do a GoFundMe. Kara Spain says, "What are y'all going to do about the Bibb County
Lice and bed bugs?"
Kara Spain, we working on it. I assure you, we are. It's I've gotten a lot of reports from that. I did a walkthrough. I haven't did my walkthrough for this month. I did it for last month, and that was a issue. Because there were some people that were mentally ill that were locked back that had those. And they just keeping them locked back. So that's the purpose of me going into doing a walkthrough, because we recognize that even though the mayor is making the effort, he says the effort is long term, and these bed bugs and lice is not something that needs to be in a long term situation. It needs immediate attention. So that's the purpose of me going into the jail, doing a walkthrough, because I'm not going from block to block. I'm going to cell to cell. And so when I did it last month, I went to the entire block, went over the entire block, and I went from cell to cell, and I documented what was torn, what needs to be done, what was going on with that inmate, whether it was lice, bed bugs, or whatever. And I did a report, and it was sent to the sheriff. It was sent to the sheriff, and also, I can't really discuss other stuff, as far as what we're doing, as far as with the OSOF in the feds, and that I can't discuss that right now. But that's the purpose of me going into the jail, doing a walkthrough. I'm not doing just going to the block. I'm going from cell to cell. She said, I received a call today about how bad it is. She said that y'all are not coming in the right area. So I am not, I don't know who she is, but when I went in, I don't do the whole jail when I go in. I'm doing a block at a time.
Right.
So if it's something specific dealing with that, the inmates are calling me, and I'm dealing with that directly. If it's a
particular block
or particular situation, then I'm dealing with that, because I just sent the email about bed bugs and lice that 2 or 3 people called me about last week. And so hopefully that's being handled, because what we also are doing is actually quarantine the whole block. That's what I'm recommending. And they've done I know they've done one block, because when I went down there to tour that block, I couldn't tour that block that day because that's what they were doing. They had everybody in taking medicated baths in quarantine, and they were spraying the block down, so I couldn't visit that block. So that's the purpose of me going into the jail, because this stuff will require immediate attention.
Absolutely.
And so, if it's a specific block that needs attention before I can get to that block, they just need to let me know, because I will be touring the whole jail, but I'm just not touring the whole jail at one time. I'm going from block to block, but I'm going to cell to cell.
Absolutely. And I think, when this is talked about more, then there's more action that can be done. But
well, I'm gonna read this, and hopefully, because I think they coming. Some people think they're coming, but I got this shortly. It says, and that's why I'm supposed to have. So people think they're not coming, but they are. And this just happened in Fulton County. I got this today. How many minutes we got?
We got about 3.
Y'all coming everywhere except for make a bill, and that's how come I'm letting y'all know I'm prepared to go to the White House. If they don't do something soon, I'm prepared to go to the White House.
Absolutely.
But we I know the senators have recommended for that to happen. So I'm prepared to go to the White House if we can't
get it resolved.
It says in Fulton County Jail, court order reporting reveals severe staffing crisis. So it says a federal month. This is in Fulton County, so that's like I'm gonna say. I believe they coming.
Mm-hmm.
Bibb County Jail is not the only jail that's having these issues, but it's because of what's going on. It seems like it's taking forever for somebody to pay attention. To me, I think it's too long. Somebody should have been
right with the conditions.
Yeah, right. So it says federal monitors first report finds Fulton County Jail dangerously understaffed, with vacancy rate topped 70% of some shifts. Report cites unsafe housing, flooring, inoperable beds, overcrowdedness, intake cells, and widespread maintenance failure. County ordered to prioritize staffing, housing, facility repairs, and suicide prevention over the next 6 months. So the feds has went into Atlanta, Fulton County Jail,
and made a series of recommendations.
Right, and so it's coming. It's coming. It's just taking too long for me, but
right.
For them to come. And I think when they come, they're gonna see exactly. I know that the mayor is saying that he's welcoming them. The sheriff saying that they welcome them. The DA is saying that they welcome. They are welcoming them. Them to come down. And so, when they come, they will see, and hopefully they'll talk to the inmates when they do come. I don't know. That was one of the recommendations that I made, to make sure that everybody that comes in is given a medicated bath before they are put out in population. I don't know if that's being done. But lice and bed bugs are hard to get rid of. They may not be dangerous, but they hard to get rid of. And then, especially if you watching, you got on a uniform, and I'm being told that, they don't have the uniforms, and the attorneys are not able to see some of the inmates because they don't have the clothing or whatever. But and I've addressed that also. But when those uniforms, when they get in those uniforms and you wash them, you got to, in order to kill bed bugs, you got to have some very serious hot water.
Wow.
And if that person is not getting that same jumpsuit back, you giving it to somebody else. So it's not just in one isolated area. It's in
spreading all over at that point.
Over the jail, from what's being reported to me, it's just not on one block. It's on a lot of different blocks. So the block that I want to go on next, I'm being told that's the worst block. Wow. So, I requested that block last month, but they were doing some things with quarantine, so I wasn't able to go back there in that block. But that's the purpose of me doing that, because there is nothing is being done
to alleviate the problem.
Right now. And so, we're still monitoring. Is to me, it's not adding up. The numbers are not adding up. That they say that the number of people that are incarcerated, unless these people that are being incarcerated, because I'm getting a report every day of showing how many arrests are being made. So I don't know if they just turn around and getting right back out, but it's not adding up. If you got so many people in the jail, and then you got all these people being arrested on a daily basis, the numbers is growing, but look like the numbers are dropping from what they say. So people must be burning out.
Exactly.
And something else that we're seeing more and more is
listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4:00 p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are